Hello everyone, welcome to Path to Decency episode 7. The main focus of this episode is showing you guys my DB10 team because I finally was able to auto DB10. I had built a team last week, but they weren't that successful. They actually failed quite a bit. Their success rate was probably less than 50%, maybe 40 or 30%. So my goal for this week was to fix that team, which I did, and the solution that I thought would work was to build a reser. So I hadn't summoned any resers, so my only two choices were really McKean or Michelle, because I did have a Michelle, so she is kind of a reser, but she's kind of an average one. Or bad one, I guess. So McKean's kind of the same way, but I basically looked at both of their skill sets, and McKean sounded better, even though other people thought Michelle sounded better. So I fused McKean, and Michelle's kind of ugly, so I wanted a McKean. So that's why I picked McKean. And as of now, this team has successfully ran dragons 85 times and failed 5 times. It may be more than that, but I kind of stopped keeping count because, I think I messed it up a little bit. But yeah, so that's their success rate. It's pretty good. And I'm going to put all of the runes in the description in a photo album in case you guys want to see, because all of these monsters right here, besides McKean, have some of my absolute best runes on. Like, the monsters here, besides McKean, I use basically everywhere. So, they are quite fast, and they are quite tanky, so look into that. If you have the same monsters and you're failing, then check my stats and stuff like that. So building a reser is definitely one of the safest methods to doing dragons, because a lot of things tend to die when you're just starting out, because dragons is a difficult dungeon and your reser can just res them and everything's great. So I also finished TOA 100, and I summoned a Light Serpent and a Fire Magic Knight. So those weren't great summons. All of the TOA videos are on my channel, just the boss levels, in case you guys want to see that. These summons are included, even though I just spoiled them for you. So yeah, the videos are mainly just to show my team doing it, in case you have the same monsters or similar monsters and want to check out the stat requirements for it. I post all of my stats and the runes that I use in the description of those videos. I also started on TOA hard, and I'm in the 30s, so before reset, I do plan on seeing how far I can get in TOA. Last week I finished Arena in the top 18 or so thousand people, which was Fighter 3, so I have been finishing Fighter 3 for the past 3 weeks. And that's kind of alright, I guess. 100 crystals is pretty nice. And for Guild Wars, I do have a new defense because I pulled Galleon last week. So my Guild Wars defense is Galleon, Bernard, Theomars, and then the second defense is Beretta, Vero, Bella. So we have always finished Guardian 1 in our guild, which means we're probably going to be battling around the same level of players who attack us. I think Guardian 1 actually is quite a large bracket, so I don't really know. I do expect to start winning more battles, which is pretty nice, because wins are awesome. But if we do move up in that bracket and get towards the top 300s and stuff like that, my team might not be that successful, so I don't know. As for monster skill ups go, my Megan is fully skilled up, which is awesome. I don't use her, but I can use her because Megan's an amazing monster. I'm also still devil mounting my Orengelol, which might kind of be a mistake because I don't use him at all right now. I could I think my other two best options are to either save the Devilmon for something or use them on use them on either Galleon, Sig, or some other Nat 4. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. So before I get my next Devilmon on Monday, I'm going to figure out if I want to keep Devilmoning Velajewel or just save them and just wait. The best option might just be to save it since I'm not using Velajewel at all, and then if I do want to use him, you know, put the Devilmon on him and see if his Sanctuary gets maxed. Also, Comtuos was a generous god, and they put out a Water Grim Reaper secret dungeon. So if you guys saw my Path to Decency episode 2, I pulled a Thrain, which is the Dark Grim Reaper from my Light and Dark scroll from TOA. The first time I ever cleared TOA, I got an awesome pull. So my Thrain is now fully skilled up, and I saved an extra Grim Reaper for the Katarina fusion whenever I plan on fusing her. Not right now though. So that was cool. Yeah, Thrain's a great monster, and I do plan on using him in TOA hard, and I'm not really sure where else, but TOA hard for sure. I also upgraded some runes, but they are kind of random runes, and none were like amazing, so I'm not going to show you guys any runes. Just know that I did upgrade some. I always get my runes from either Giants or Dragons or the Magic Shop, so throughout the month, I do usually just spend that 25,000 mana to put a better rune on my monster, especially if I'm using that monster actively. Like, today I actually got a speed rune in slot 2, a blade one, and I put that on Theomars, and yesterday or the day before, I got a rune upgrade for Galleon, so since I use Galleon and Theomars like all the time, I thought, why not? I'm just gonna put the better rune on them. I'm also going to upgrade the speed building all the way. I had finished the mana fountain off, which increases my mana production, which I thought was worth it because it's like kind of cheap. So I kind of made a mistake, and it was like a rash decision, and I bought the defense building up to level 3 from the Glory Shop, because I thought it would help my original Dragons team, but it didn't. So I'm just going to go back into the speed building, finish that out, then either go into HP or attack after that, depending on what I feel like I need more. I also have, I guess I'll talk about the guild shop too. Well, okay, I'll save that for later. So I have also still only spent $30 on my account so far. I'm going to buy the Daily Pack 1 in 2 days because mine is expiring, and eventually I won't need to do that anymore because I'm going to have a lot of crystals and I won't need to buy the Daily Pack 1 anymore, but I don't think that's for a while. So that's that. And then finally, we are moving into the last category of the video, which is the category I'm most excited about, my future goals. So right now I'm going to move into progressing in Arena and eventually holding Conqueror 1 pretty steadily. I think Conqueror 1 is mainly just about your rune quality and not necessarily your monsters. So I'm going to be pushing that and tweaking things and doing trial and error to see how things work. The monsters I plan on using for my offense are, I'm just going to do pretty much like a speed team, and that's all I'm going to use. I'm not going to do list clears. I'm just going to be hitting the defenses that I think I can win against. So my team's going to be Shimate Leader, which is the Wind Sylph, Bernard, Galleon, and Theomars. So it's just a YOLO speed comp. Will I be faster than you? And will I kill your monsters before they get a turn, basically. The reason why I chose that team is because I have been using a speed team right now. Right now I've been using Beretta, Bernard, Galleon, and Theomars, and it's kind of been working pretty well, so I like that. I like the speed team, so I'm just going to build a better one with Shimate. And then I chose to use the other monsters because I'm keeping my focus narrow and I'm putting my best runes on the monsters that I use a lot. So that team made the most sense to me, and you guys can probably piece together how it's going to work. You know, Bernard moves first and speeds everyone up, then Galleon moves second and buffs everyone, then Theomars moves because he's running speed on slot 2, and then Shimate moves because I'm going to build him triple attack. And I don't know what rune set I'm going to use on him. I'm still debating between Despair, and Fatal. So I'm going to have to figure that out and think about it first. I'm also saving all of my summoning stones, and I will be doing a summoning video for whenever I use those, so that'll be a really fun video. And I'm saving them to get those Nat 4s that I want. I'm talking about Vertihile, Chasun, Orion, etc. So for the guild shop, what I'm doing is every week I'm buying my Rainbowmon and all of the possible summoning stones you can buy, which is like 3 sets of them. You can buy 75 summoning stones from the guild shop. So that's going to be my strategy, and I'm also going to buy Ifrit pieces until I get a Tessarian, and then once I get a Tessarian, if I happen to get a Tessarian before an Amir, then I will have to see if I want to get an Amir and think about that then. But I'm gonna have to see how RNG treats me if it gives me a Tessarian soon. So that's not going to be for a while. I won't have to make my decision whether I'm going to... Well, I mean, it might be, right? So I won't have another Ifrit summon for like another month or so. So I won't have to decide anything until then, but I believe I'm going to go into the flags the flags and skip the scrolls, because my strategy is going to be using the summoning stones to get the Nat 4s that I want rather than the scrolls to get the Nat 4s that I want. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm also going to set up the Rune Optimizer eventually one of these days, and I will put out a Rune video for you guys every month right before Free Rune Removal Day, because if I do it after, I'm going to have a bunch of runes that aren't fully powered up, and I usually pick up like a lot of runes mid-month and put them on stuff, so I don't want to miss those runes, right? So right before makes the most sense to me. And also, so basically I'm just going to be focusing on Arena and building my Shimate, and I am also, some other things that are kind of in my sights are Necro, Raids, and TOA hard progression. That's kind of all I can really see. Also Hall of Heroes. Usually I do Hall of Heroes B1, and I think to actually have a good team, it needs to be like a speed team to clear Hall of Heroes, which is quite far away, clearing B3, but of course it would make sense if I had a team for B2 that was fairly fast to run that as much as possible to get as many skill ups as possible. Even if it's not all the skill ups I need, it's at least some. So I can also kind of look into that. So those are all things that I'm kind of, that are on my radar to start thinking about. So that's basically it for this video. I'm gonna get pretty into PvP soon, and don't forget to follow my Twitter. I tweet live updates about Summoner's War, any summons I get, any things like that. It's mainly just pictures of like summons and stuff. Also, if you don't want any spoilers, don't follow my Twitter, because I tweet spoilers, like what I summon and stuff, if you guys just want to wait for the episodes that I put out. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you guys next week.